This is called a flintlock. It's a type of muzzleloader. All flintlocks are muzzleloaders, not all muzzleloaders are flintlocks. When you hear the word muzzleloader, what they're getting at is that you obviously load it from this end, right? When I say flintlock, what this means here is you see this clamp. It's holding just a piece of flint, like a stone. And when you strike flint against steel, the flint scrapes away a chunk of the steel, and it creates sparks. That spark ignites a little charge of fine gunpowder that sits in this little trough right here. That little charge of powder jumps to a thing called the touch hole, and then there's a main charge of powder in here. You might be noticing there's these two triggers here. If you just shot normal triggers your whole life, these are such a pain in the ass to get used to. So you pull it back, right, and you got to do the set trigger. So if you listen, you hear that click. When you do that click, this thing is now like, it's like ounces of trigger pull. That narrow space in there and that little teeny trigger goes quick. So it's like an added thing you got to remember. So let's load this thing, you'll see how this all works. This right here is a powder measurer. When guys used to shoot these for real back in the old days, they would have such a fine-tuned sense of doing it, they could free pour. The best of the best would learn how to load one of these on the run. For hunting, when you want precision, you would use a ball that fits real snug. Like, see how tight that is? Like, I can't barely get it started with my thumb. But if you were going into a fight, they might use a lead ball that was a little smaller, so you could actually, on the run, pour, get a lead ball out of your mouth, put it in there, and just bang the butt of the gun down to get that ball to drop and seat. So you'd have two different size balls. But you got this little starter here to get it going. Seat it a little bit more. Now, my dear friend Seth Morris, who grew up in a flintlock hunting state, taught me this. See that little bounce? That means it's seated. Once it's seated and maxed out on the bottom, you get that satisfying little bounce and you know you're good. So the final step, the equivalent of chambering around, is to fill the pan. If you ever hear the expression, the flash in the pan, you know, it's like something that was promised to be bigger than it turned out to be. That means that the pan ignited, but it didn't catch the charge inside the barrel. That'd be a flash in the pan. And you close that sucker up, and it's ready to cock and shoot.